What's going on, Jess? How you doing?
Good, Char. I'm currently in Miami. I'm here with HBO Max and Hooray, Issa Rae's company. We're doing some last minute touches on some stuff that we're working on for her new show and the after show podcast that we have. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing good.
Girl, you
I'm in
girl,
the
you
hot
are
ass.
popping. You are popping, Jessie. Woo. First off, we're gonna get into the podcast. We're gonna get into Issa Rae, but I gotta start off with telling you how you had me cracking all the way up when you told Nick Cannon that you've been trying to get pregnant for him, girl. It was
What?
obviously
Everybody latching onto that.
girl, because it was funny. Now, obviously, what'd you say?
Everybody's latching onto that clip, which is funny. I posted it because I thought it was funny, but I thought it would mostly resonate with Haitians because I was speaking in Creole. So I was like, oh, that's something like my Haitians, the people who know me from years. I'm like, oh, that's something for them. But it caught on everywhere. I'm like, I was on another show the other day and they asked me about it. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh shit. So this really resonated with a lot of people. Okay, cool. So everybody found
Girl,
it funny. Yay! Like,
I know, right? Well, job well done. Because I mean, the joke, it really not only hit, but it stuck. And obviously, Nick Cannon
yeah,
having a new kid every day, and I'm not mad at him, sis. Okay,
girl,
it ain't none of my
love,
business,
love.
and I ain't mad. Okay, and he got the cash. But I gotta ask you, would you really want Nick Cannon to
Mhm.
be your baby daddy?
You know what? What's so interesting about Nick is honestly, I get it because he's so nice. He's so sweet. He's so professional. He's just a nice person. If you've ever been around Nick, especially like in the work environment, I think he's just a respectable guy. Like he's a pretty likable fucking guy. Like, you know what I mean? And then he's not hard on the eyes. He's very handsome, but I would never, I don't even look at him like that. I think there's been a moment or two where I'm like, oh, wait a minute now, hold on, wait a minute now, that's my boss looking like that, But I would never. You know why? Because HR, human resources. I'm a
Okay.
former human resources employee, so I believe in keeping work and dating separate, especially if you are the boss and we are people who are like in subordinate positions. I do believe in keeping that separate. So no, I would
Okay,
never do
because
that.
one of his wild and out girls is his new baby mama. So, well, one of the new baby mamas. So, I mean, never say never, sis.
Again, I I'm speaking for me.
Right.
Apparently, obviously, that's not everybody's belief, but I'm speaking for me. I would not do that because, like, I think that's stupid. Why would you want to shit where you work? Like, what if anything happens? You know what I mean? Like, and then like you don't have anything else going on. So, I mean, more power to them, but that would never be me.
Period. She ain't trying to see what the boss Zozo is like. Okay. And I'm not mad at you, girl.
Okay.
I'm not mad at you. But speaking of wild and out, I mean, oh God, one day I was on social media and I mean, you and I are friends. We've known each other for years. So I totally get your
Yeah,
humor.
yeah.
And I think things are allowed to be funny when you're, a comedian. But they was coming at your
Yeah.
head, sis, for that Whitney Houston joke. And obviously you're a woman of
Oh,
all
yeah.
trades. But when being a comedian,
Yeah.
do you feel like there's certain jokes that you just have to like stay away from now that you've experienced that? Or are you on your Dave Chappelle,
No,
like, F
I
it?
I honestly feel like you know what's so funny is the I never said anything about Whitney. I never said anything about her character. I never said anything about the way she looked. I never said anything about her talent. a lot of people chopped up the clip, and so people didn't have a full context of the fact that we were playing an impersonation game. And so, you know, we're playing one that, you know, if she had a voicemail, it would be, you know, and I'm dead, I can't come to the phone, like, you know what I mean, like that's what it is, like. And so the joke did hit, and I actually have a highlight reel where when people watch the show in real time, they tell me, they're like, yo, you wild for this, but this shit is fucking funny. Like, it's dark humor, it's matter of fact humor. I never said anything about her. And to be honest, I feel like I love that moment because it was a clever moment. I didn't say anything about her specifically. And we've seen a lot of comedians hit below the belt when it came to her, but it's a factual thing. She can't come to the, she dead. And I've gotten that. You know what I mean? It's the truth. Growing up, the Ricky Smiley morning show was always one of my favorite shows because they had a segment where they phoned heaven. And when they would phone heaven, they would impersonate all the dead celebrities, James Brown, Michael Jackson. Like as more celebrities died, they would impersonate them. And I always found that funny. So I felt a little inspired by Ricky Smiley with that. Like, I feel like male comedians, they're able to push buttons and push envelopes that a lot of females are not able to. But, you know, from day one, I've always pissed off a lot of people because I've always said things that other people won't say. And I'm like that in real life. I will say the stuff that everybody probably is thinking but wouldn't say. And I'm never going to change that about myself ever. So yeah, I mean, you could probably say, yeah, I'm on my Dave Chappelle shit, but I think with Dave, I think Dave leans into a specific community a little too much.
Right.
So that will be the difference between me. It's like, okay, if I do say something and it comes off a little something, okay, you know what? Take no, and not saying I won't do it again, but let me find a different approach. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna keep doing it till I figure it out. So
well,
that's
I don't think anything was wrong with your approach, girl. I mean, it was, if anybody that understands, it was a funny joke. And we can leave it at that. It was a funny joke.
And it's called Wildin' Out. It was me. And the show is called Wildin' Out. We're not telling church jokes, okay? Like, we are at Wildin' Out. We are here to wow out. And
you wowed out.
I'll never regret that. Yeah, I did.
When you go through tough situations like that, does Nick Cannon give you any advice at all?
He actually did call me that day. That's how I knew it was bad. That's how I knew the internet was really taking it to the net, because I've only gotten 2 phone calls from Nick, and that was one of them. And he called me and he said, you are a comedian. First of all, you need to stop explaining yourself to people. And one of the things that I said in my Insta stories, I was like, yeah, like, you know, I mean, I don't consider myself a comedian, but I am figuring it out. And he was like, that's the only thing I see wrong with what you said. He said, don't defend yourself. You don't have to explain yourself. And this is what happens to the greats. The greats get dragged all the time. Yeah. But you are a comedian. You're one of the clever people, most talented people that I know. And so you'll learn from it and you just keep it moving. So, you know, it was good to get a phone call from him.
Well, that's what's up. So now that we've covered Wildin' Out, we got to talk about the music, okay? Your voice is, I mean, you cannot compare it to anyone's voice. And you can go from singing a cappella to a Haitian turn-up song, okay? So I definitely want to know, how has the Haitian community embraced you as an artist? Because I see you over in Haiti doing the music videos, girl. And you know, can't anybody just roll up in Haiti. So obviously you good over there. So how has it been transitioning to a Haitian artist?
Well, I didn't transition to a Haitian artist. I mean, my first EP, Moods of the Cancer, I did have Vacation that did really well. Last year, did partner up with the Haitian band, and I did that out of the goodness of my heart. They came to me, they asked me, hey, we want to partner, we want to do a feature with you on a song, and we think it'll be great. It's a compa song. And you know, it was funny because I've been recording for the last 2 years. I have a lot of music I haven't released yet because I've just been trying to find how I want to do this. And I was like, you know, this will be great. This will be a way to kind of get back in there. And I didn't ask for an advance. All I asked was for them to give me my credit as a songwriter. Wow. And we agreed to 50% because they asked me to do a whole lot of promotion and a whole lot of stuff. And I said, okay. And so they released a song. And when they released a song, they purposely did not credit me. And so
are you talking about the song with Wyclef?
No, not Wyclef. No, I'm talking about the compa song. Okay. Oh, we're gonna get to Wyclef in a moment. That was a great experience. Okay. But that Haitian that I did the song with, they purposely did not credit me. And I have everything written down. I didn't involve my lawyers or anything because I'm like, you know what? Let's just. I've done stuff with people before where it's like, hey, this is the percentage, and we go ahead and sign off other stuff, and it's good. I've never had anybody like go out of their way to steal from me like that. I've had other situations where people have stolen things, but them, they went out of their way. And so I was like, hey, like, you guys didn't credit me on the song. That's all I asked for. And so instead of crediting me, they went and they released another version and had another girl sing my version, sing the words that I wrote. Oh, wow. And thought that was going to be okay. So now I had to go. And when I spoke up about it, they went online and they said that I was mean, at the video shoot. I was asking for food. Oh, she was asking for food.
Girl, how dare I
you
get a plate?
It's like,
you ain't get paid for the song. Can I get some rice and beans?
Girl, God forbid you had a photo you asked for food. And so I bring this up because they went on live and they said all these things. And the Haitian community has been in my comments ever since, like telling me I'm entitled, that I'm trash. Like, I mean, it's been an uphill battle, all because instead of just crediting me for my work, you guys went out of your way to not only not credit me, but then to go online and defame me. And I have everything written up. I have screenshots of everything, and they went out of their way. So it's a battle for me to work with my own people. Like it's literally like, it's almost always ugly. But then Wyclef came around and actually told Wyclef not to work with me. But Wyclef worked with me, and that was such a great experience. Like, it was professional. Wyclef, like, honestly, I see why he is who he is.
Okay, so tell me how Wyclef basically redeemed the whole Haitian culture when it comes to working with other Haitians.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, I had to get my lawyers involved. I had to get the video for the song taken down. They're still working on getting all the streaming taken off. So, I had to pay for that. And by the time I got my lawyers involved, the band came back around. Oh, can we work something out? No. There is no working nothing out at this point because you've dirtied the name. So we're good. You guys.
Why did they try to play you like that, sis?
I don't know. You know what it is? I think that like, there's the Haitian music industry. It's filled with people who don't want to pay for things, who act very animalistically in a sense that they don't have respect for someone else's basic rights. Like, it's just a basic right. If I write, that I should be credited. That's a basic right. So even if I did show up to a music video and I was mean to everybody, even if I were, that has absolutely nothing to do with you violated my rights. You know what I mean? So I had to do all that. Then fast forward, Wyclef was told not to work with me. And so when he came to me, he shared that with me, and he was like, listen, like, if anybody knows what it's like to have a whole bunch of people against you, it's me. And if you look at Clef, he has experienced a lot of ups and downs in the industry, but I think he understands real talent and he understands all sides, and so getting in a studio with him, I was very pessimistic at that point. But when I tell you, like, it was honestly a dream come true. Like, I get chills even thinking about it because he just was so professional. He's just really nice, which is so weird. And it's sad that I'm saying that, but this industry has a lot of mean people. He was so nice, so generous, so professional. Contracts were signed. But not only that, like, he let me be me, and he encouraged me to rap. I had never rapped before.
Okay.
But there are versions of Voyage Low where I'm singing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "You're not singing?" He was like, "No, I want you to rap." And I'm like, I could rap gifts. I could make a chicken rap.
You stupid.
Rap on a song. I don't speak that language, but he pulled it out of me, and it was great. It was great. It was such a great experience. It was for Haitian Flag Day. We were in Times Square, like, on billboards in Times Square. It was just great. And Clef has a lot of stuff he's working on. We have another song that we're working on together that's honestly, like, he has projects that he's working on, but I really hope he releases it. Like, I feel like it could be Hips Don't Lie Part 2. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's up there. Like,
okay,
it's up. Like, we gonna
need Wyclef to release it then.
I know he's such an artist, and artists, like, you work on stuff, but you hold it because you don't know if it's the right time. But then Wyclef is a fucking beast. I'm sorry, but he's a beast. Like, he has such dope music that he's just holding on to. So I really hope he releases it. It's really amazing. And it was a great experience. And I feel like it was a redeeming experience for me. Yeah.
Well, I'm a DM Wyclef right after this. Be like, please release it, Wyclef.
Oh,
we need that.
Please release it.
And with you being Haitian, I just think it's so amazing with all your success too, because a lot of people who are Haitian American, our age, are like first generation.
Yeah.
And I know that you came to Miami when you were like 6 years old, correct? Mm-hmm. So can you just give me a little background on like your Haitian story?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Because usually it's pretty tough, right? And for your parents and stuff, and then you come here and you have to work extremely hard, and now you're at the place where you're at. So I just kind of want to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. My mom and my father divorced because my father was a drug addict. My father was a preacher too. They met in the church, but baby, he was slanging that word on Sunday morning. On Sunday night, he was slanging that rock. And then that rock started to slang his ass. So
girl.
It's just my daddy, honestly, his story is insane. And honestly, I shouldn't even be here because he just had it hard. My dad was, he was in Canada, in the 70s, and like, it was hard for Haitians around that time, not just in America, but I don't think people understand, like, a lot of Haitians go to Canada. There's a lot of racism in Canada. My mom got spit on by a white woman on a train, because she was Haitian. She was Black, there was a lot of racism. The 70s were just the other day. It's not that far, behind. So they experienced a lot of that. And so, to top all that off, he had a drug problem, and my mom was like, let's move to Miami so you can get away from your drug friends. But he just was not trying to do that. So she moved us. And Miami was an experience. Like, it was not cool being Haitian in the 90s. Like, it was not cool. I remember going to school and people telling me I ate cat, and I would go home. I went home one day and I was like, Mama, we eat cat?
Right. Where the cat at, Mom?
And she's like, and so it was rough, but I feel that, I was raised by a Haitian woman who was very confident in her heritage, and she put that into me. And so even till this day, when I look at sometimes, I'm like, damn, even as I've lived this life for the past 5 years, I've always been able to shine a light on my heritage because it's just easy to me. I love it. I love being Haitian. I love speaking Creole. I love our food. I love our history. I love everything we stand for. It's sad that we can't get it together as a country, as a democracy, have real democracy, have real laws, have people who truly care about other people's basic rights.
Yeah.
That's really a problem, like at the
Human
foundation.
rights.
We don't care about human rights. We don't care about the Haitian that's right here. Let me care about your everyday rights. And I feel that, being in the position that I am, it's great for me to talk about my Haitian experience. It's not an easy one, but I think it's great to shine a light because we're kind of like a forgotten people. A lot of people just want to toss us aside, but so many of us, like you said, so many of us are here, not only in the country, but in the industry. And, we got to rise up and we got to stand up for our people. We got to play our part however we can, strengthen the community. We have to do that.
Amen, girl. I really admire you, not only as a sister and also as a brown skinned girl, but even further than that, being Haitian American. I mean, my husband's Haitian, my kids are Haitian.
And Zozo, honey, she getting that paso.
Okay. Okay. And I honestly would love I feel like you're such a great inspiration. And as my kids grow up, I know like you and I are real cool, but as my kids grow up, I can't wait for them to grow up a little bit more, but definitely have a relationship with Auntie Jessie.
I do. I know.
Because I mean,
you had the kids like in the pandemic.
I know. So crazy.
So I haven't been able to really cause I tell hubby that all the time. I'm like, man, I really want to come to Chicago, see the girls.
We got a place for you, sis. Whenever you do, Chicago was found by a Haitian.
Of course. The snob.
Okay. And we have one Haitian restaurant here in Chicago, and I'm gonna make you pull up, sis. I'm gonna get you a nice plate. So we're gonna plan the whole trip. But we got to talk about some of your current success. So we've talked about the past, but we got to talk about what you got going on right now, girl. I mean, it's so crazy because I'll never forget how, you quit that TV show you were on, produced by a certain production company that I am also no longer.
We just won't say nothing about that.
We ain't gonna bring up no names. But let's just say we used to have the same boss, okay? Yeah. But in our journey at different times, we realized that this ain't right. Something ain't right here. Yeah. And it was more important to be independent. Funny because I saw that you said that one of the reasons why you quit, they told you that you couldn't have a podcast.
Yeah.
And for me, my WGCI job almost didn't happen because the production company wanted to, in the contract, state that they are number one, first priority. And iHeart is like, but she works for us. Like, we're first priority too. So, you got to be careful with those contracts you sign. Luckily, they made it happen, but it almost didn't for me. So I totally understand where you're coming from. Before we talk about the podcast, which is your newest venture, I got to talk about a la carte on All Black. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When I saw you playing Misha, I cannot believe it. Like, you are killing it, Jess, and you're so relatable. Your character's so relatable. So I wanted to know, well, for anyone that doesn't know about a la carte on All Black, it's a scripted dramedy about the Black millennial dating experience. So of course it's going to be hilarious. It's drama and comedy. But tell me how you got that role.
It's so funny because I've been auditioning for more than a year and at that point, and I got the role because my cousin Da Vinci, who's on BMF, his manager is connected to the project, and his manager thought I'd be good for that role. So he asked me to audition for it, and I got it immediately. But it's my first acting role. I had never
it.
Yeah, thanks. So I remember we had a screening, and I said that at the screening, and people were like, "What? That's your it was my first
girl, hold on. Nola just came in here.
Nova. Nova.
Babe, can you come get Nola? Look, don't have no kids anytime soon. It will slow you down. Okay.
No, I want to. But no.
So back to Olive Carte. How did you get the role? So you, Da Vinci, yo, fine ass cousin who might be dating Lala, but we don't know. Is he? Is Da Vinci dating Lala?
I don't know, Greg.
Is Da Vinci giving Lala the Zozo? We want to know.
Don't know. I don't know that man business like that.
All right. I'm gonna believe you.
I know cousin business.
Okay. So Da Vinci's manager thought you would be perfect for the role, which you are. Yeah. And that's how you got your first acting gig.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of people think you have to be like signed to an agent or, you know.
I mean, it's better though, honestly. The hustle and bustle of getting like I've been auditioning for like a year and a half now. At that point, it had been a year. That's the only job I've gotten. You know what I mean? So it is hard. It's very hard, and there's a lot of politics, and there's a lot of who knows who, you know, and will plug you into different projects. So, you know, it's hard to build a name for yourself. But prayerfully, I see myself getting a big agent soon. You know, I think it's going to come. I think that my journey is more me building it first so that when that opportunity does come, it'll be more on my terms.
Oh my God. I love that. I mean, that was very inspirational because people always can't wait to glow up and blow up and, you know, be found, like somebody gonna find me and discover me. But really, you got to lay the work down first.
I'm gonna lay the work down. One thing about me, I'm gonna lay the work down. I'm not afraid to work. I am afraid to work with people who don't mean business though. And I feel like a lot of times you do get an agent and you think it's gonna be y'all. And a lot of these agents nowadays, they don't even know what to do with real talent. They really don't. They see, oh, dark skinned girl, stripper, dark skinned guy, drug dealer. You know what I mean? Like they don't take the time to really invest in who you are. And so I don't know. I think my journey is gonna be just different. That God's gonna place somebody in my life that really, really believes in me, and we're just gonna take off running.
Oh my God! Well, Issa Rae really, really believes in you, doesn't she?
She does.
You might not need an agent because you're getting big jobs, sis. You're getting the jobs. The jobs are coming. So let's talk about Chat Shit, the podcast. I think it's so cool because anybody that's been following you over the years, they've seen you kind of recap these shows that come on TV, and it was totally your thing. But that has somehow changed to this opportunity that you have with HBO Max. Issa Rae. So obviously she has a new show, Rap Shit. And your podcast is called Chat Shit. Take us through the journey, girl. How did you get the gig? What is it about? What can we expect?
Oh my God. I mean, first of all, Rap Shit is an amazing show. It's based on these two former best friends from high school who link back up and form a girl group, a rap group. And so Chat Shit is dedicated to recapping that show. And I had got the phone call back in, I want to say June, which is funny because I almost took a job on another reality show, but my gut kept telling me no. I was like, I've had a bad, I don't want to do it, but the network kept begging me to do it. And I was like, God, you know what? Like, if you don't want me to do this, send me something else. And then, and I got the phone call, like literally to my cell phone. Jifa, who's a producer at radio, she used to work at Spotify, so she's great at what she does. And she called me and she told me about the opportunity. I was connected with her through Charles, who has the R&B party, the track that goes. And so we talked. And she thought I'd be perfect for it. I told her, I was like, I'm perfect for this. Like, you're calling the right person. This is what I do. And she asked me who I wanted as my co-host. And I said, we got to get Zach Campbell. Got to get Campbell. And Zach Campbell, if you know Zach, you know he's huge on YouTube. He's known critiquing music, specifically female hip hop, and the show is centered around female hip hop. So, man, we got together. I had never met him before, but he got the gig. We did a test run where they let us look at 10 minutes of the first episode. He and I had a 45-minute podcast just based on 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Like they had to cut, like the network had to cut us off. And so Issa gets the test run, and she's like, "Oh nah, yeah, let's go ahead and let's get to work. let's get to work. We ain't gotta wait. And the first time I saw her, which was at ABFF, because then she hired me to host a screening for it at ABFF. She came to me and she said, "Girl, a mess. You that a mess." But she loves it. It's so funny. Like, honestly, anybody who's heard it, I had a friend of mine call me the other day. She said, "Jess, if you ever see a bad comment about chat shit, just know that person's a hater. You cannot." It's so fucking funny. Like, it's hilarious. And we get to do it with HBO Max and in partnership with Spotify and Hooray. So it's huge that I'm at these companies that I could only even dream. Like, I would have never thought, this was not in my bingo cards for 2022. But one thing is for certain is, one thing about Black women, they have given me the biggest alley hoops, like biggest moments in these past couple years. And for me to do that with someone like Issa, who comes from social media, who did what she did on social media, that's what I aspire to do. Yeah. I write scripts, which people don't know, and I'm aspired to do all that. So I feel like I'm in the right place to just learn, soak up. I feel like when you are right up under greatness, it's gonna rub off. So I look forward. I'm like, man, thank you so much for this opportunity. At the LA screening, I went up to her and I just couldn't stop crying. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the drinks. She's like, "Girl, you all right?" I'm like, "Thank you." Like, literally, it was like, I don't know what was happening. I was so happy. And I'm just so blessed because I know I've walked away. Like you said, I've walked away from a show.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
You never know. And like, you know, they do things to make sure that you don't work. You know what I mean? So
yes, they do.
Over and over again, because I truly believe not only in God, but I believe in myself. I believe in my talent. I believe like what's for me is for me. And even I can't stop that. That's how much faith I have in me and God's, you know, God's plan for my life. So I'm excited. Like, I'm so excited. We're actually in Miami right now recording an episode, like literally recording. I'm in the podcast studio.
So
and
cool.
In Wynwood, which is amazing. I'm happy to be home in Dade County. Like, I moved from Dade County back in 2016. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do something. And like, to come back home and do this during Rolling Loud, being at all the events and see all my old friends and people like, man, like, you did that. Like,
I'm so happy for you. You're gonna make me cry. Oh my God.
I'd be crying. I'm like, damn, I really did that. Like, you know, and I'm still.
No, you really did, Jess. Like, you really, really did. Because I just will never forget when we were on FaceTime about, you know, quitting the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have just completely used that opportunity and come back full circle. You're back in Miami. You're working with Issa Rae, HBO Max. You got your own show on All Black. And, you know, you're a part of a show. It's just beautiful. So
on the charts, like,
girl, come on.
For the podcast. Yeah, like, literally.
Let us know. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember watching you on the reality show and being saddened because I knew who you were, and that, like, I also know the environment.
You know the game. You know the game.
I know the game, but I know you, and to see you play the game, I felt like you were too good for that. Like, lead a game for like bitches like me who who, like, you know, I'm in the industry because of the game, but you were like already doing your thing. So it was a learning experience. I'm glad that you went through it, because it's going through that makes you say, this is what I'm not going to accept in the future. Exactly. So that's why I am too, girl. But let's talk about before we get off this interview, let's talk about your love life. I want to know if you're getting a Zozo and maybe who he is or something.
No, I am dating.
Ooh, do we know him?
I'm not in a relationship.
Okay.
But I do have someone who I aspire to be in a relationship with.
Oh my God, Jess.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us anything about him?
I will say he is very different from anybody that I've ever dated. Like he has a strong Christian background. Very like he's someone I've prayed for and more, child. He's more than what I prayed for.
Okay.
But I mean, he does have a name, so I don't want to say his name.
So, okay. I was like, you gonna tell me the name? All right, well, we know that you really like him. Yeah. I have another meeting at 2, but real quick, you can see yourself with this Zozo for life, you sure?
I definitely.
All right, now.
I've never been able to really say that, but I feel like with him, yeah, I could definitely.
All right, I ain't mad at you, sis.
Hard though. Relationships are so hard.
They are.
So I'm like, man, I really have to do the work. I haven't had to do the work in a long time. I've been good, just chilling, doing my own thing. So I think when you find someone, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna do the work. Well, so I might give Nola a uncle. We gonna see.
Girl, well, I'm gonna be ready for it. Let us know whenever you come to Chicago. And if I'm in Miami or wherever you might be, I'm gonna hit you up, sis. Thanks so much, Jessie. We love you, girl. And we're gonna continue to support you in the Bay House.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview.
Of course.
I love you, girl.
Talk to you soon.
You too.